Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Aryna Sabalenka names IGA Swiatek and Coco Gauff as her toughest physical rivals. World number 1 and defending US Open champion Aryna Sabalenka says rivals IGA Swiatek and Coco Gauff present the biggest challenge to her on a physical level. Sabalenka won her 4th Grand Slam at the US Open last weekend, defeating home favorite Amanda Anisimova in straight sets to successfully defend her title in New York. Sabalenka, Swiatek, and Gauff have proven to be the leading trio on the WTA Tour in recent years, with all three winning multiple Grand Slam titles and finding consistent success on tour. Polish star Swiatek and US ace Gauff have proven to be the leading rivals of Sabalenka's career, with the Belarusian facing a combined 24 meetings against the two women. Few women have been able to consistently trouble Sabalenka in the way that both the Pole and American have, and the world number 1 has now revealed one of the toughest tests the duo pose. Speaking on the Jay Shetty podcast this week, the Belarusian was asked to name who she felt posed the biggest challenge to her physically, and there were two obvious answers. Coco IGA. These two I think physically brings the biggest challenge, said Sabalenka. They move really great. Sometimes you build a point, and sometimes with the others players, this shot would be a winner. But with them, sometimes you have to rebuild the point. Physically and mentally, it's not easy to, stay strong and be ready that the ball is going to come back every time, and you have to, be really strong physically to handle that intensity. However, when asked to name her biggest opponent mentally, the world number 1 admitted it was possible to name just one opponent. She added, "I cannot pick one. You know why? Because everyone is tough, you know. Everyone brings different challenges. It's tough to say okay, she's the toughest one for me. Because then you underestimate the rest of the group, which is not right." Sabalenka is set to return to action at the WTA 1000 China Open, which begins towards the end of September. The world number 1 is also set to play at both the Wuhan Open and WTA Finals before the end of 2025. In the stillness before battle, there is a breath. For Aryna Sabalenka, that breath often comes not from fear, but from acknowledgement. In a sport as ruthless as tennis, where every step, swing, and surge must be measured in both muscle and mind, Sabalenka has learned to appreciate the weight of her opposition. Not all rivals are equal, and not all battles are the same. But in the theater of physical warfare on the court, two names rise above the rest in her mind. IGA Swiatek, Coco Gauff. The anatomy of rivalry. People always talk about pressure, Aryna once told a journalist. But pressure is just the shadow of your own expectations. Physicality, that's real. That's pain, endurance, limits, tested and shattered. When she faces Swiatek or Gauff, it's not just about tennis. It's about outlasting firestorms. It's about dancing through hurricanes. Aryna is no stranger to power. Her own game is forged from raw strength, a blend of relentless serves, explosive forehands, and footwork that pounds the court like thunder. But even the fiercest warrior can sense when they are matched, or even rarely outmatched. IGA Swiatek, precision meets relentlessness. IGA, Sabalenka has said, almost reverently, is like a metronome built in a lab. Swiatek's game is not brute force. It's something more terrifying. Consistency powered by quiet ferocity. She glides where others grunt. Her movement is clinical, almost balletic, but behind every step lies a terrifying purpose. On clay, especially, IGA becomes a specter, unreachable, untouchable. Aryna knows this firsthand. She's felt the slow suffocation that comes with trying to hit through IGA's defense, only to see the ball come back with even more venom. And then again, and again, until the lines blur between aggression and desperation. She doesn't give you anything, Aryna said in an interview after one of their matches. You have to take it. And taking something from her feels like trying to steal from a locked vault. Swiatek's physicality isn't loud. It's not in your face. But it's always there. In her recovery, in her elasticity, in the way she hits a heavy forehand from 2 meters behind the baseline and still finds the corner. It's in the hours she spent running drills, building a body that doesn't just survive long rallies, it thrives in them. Coco Gauff. Speed, youth, and the roar of promise. Then there's Coco. She's like lightning. Irina once mused. You think you have her beat, then she's there. Always there. Gauff's speed is nothing short of electrifying. Her court coverage is among the best in the game, male or female. Irina has watched Coco chase down balls that had no right being returned, watched as rallies that should have ended in victory turned into wars of attrition. But Coco isn't just speed. She's grit. She's 19 years old going on veteran. Her physique is already finely tuned, but her hunger, the intangible fire in her eyes, that's what rattles opponents. When I play her, Irina admitted, I can feel the energy. Not just from her body, but from her spirit. She's never out of a point. That's exhausting. That's terrifying. Gauff's strength lies in her resilience. It's in her ability to reset between points, to keep pushing even when her back's against the wall. The young American has learned to weaponize her athleticism, not just to defend, but to turn defense into counterattack. In a sport increasingly dominated by raw power, Coco is a reminder that speed, stamina, and adaptability can still break giants. The respect of warriors. Irina Sabalenka is not one to shy away from conflict. Her game, her voice, her presence, they all scream ferocity. But in IGA and Coco, she sees not just competitors. She sees mirrors. She sees what it means to chase perfection not with grace, but with grit. I'm not afraid of them, she clarified in a candid sit-down. But I respect them, because when you play against them, you can't hide behind strategy or hope. You have to bring your body, your entire being, into every shot. And she knows they do the same. She recalls a match against Swiatek that left her legs aching for days, the kind of soreness that seeps into the bones and makes you question why you ever picked up a racket. She remembers trying to break off serve, only to find herself in a 22-shot rally that ended with Coco sliding into a backhand winner like it was a warm-up drill. These girls, Irina once said, they don't just test your lungs, they test your soul. Beyond rivalry, evolution. But here's the beauty, Irina welcomes the pain. She trains for it, lives for it, because to face the best is to become better. She credits IGA and Coco for reshaping her training. She's adjusted her recovery routines. She's worked more on endurance, on lateral speed, on the micro-movements that make the difference at 5-5 in the third set. They've made me hungrier, she admitted. If I want to be number one, not just for a week, but for years, I have to be able to beat them at their best. And that means becoming something I've never been before. It's easy to think of rivalries as personal, but sometimes they're transformative. Irina's toughest matches against Swiatek and Gauff haven't just challenged her, they've molded her. In them, she sees not enemies, but catalysts. The unwritten chapter. Tennis is a game of eras. Names rise, fall, etch themselves into history. And as the tour charges forward, the Swiatek-Sabalenka Gauff triangle grows sharper, more dramatic, more essential to the sport's narrative. Fans watch, breath held, as these three women push each other beyond limits. Each brings something unique to the court. IGA's surgical efficiency, Coco's blistering speed, Irina's raw force. Together, they are the new holy trinity of tennis athleticism. And Irina, she stands in the center, undaunted. They're my toughest physical rivals, she said, with no trace of resentment. But that's exactly why I wake up every morning ready to fight, because I know that to beat them, I have to become more. Epilogue. The quiet between storms. After one brutal semifinal match, 3 sets, 3 hours, sweat soaking through her tank top, Irina sat alone in the locker room. Not defeated, not broken, just still. Across the hallway, Swiatek's laughter echoed. Down the corridor, Gauff was already stretching, preparing for doubles. Sabalenka smiled. Let the world talk about rankings. Let the media argue about who the future belongs to. She knew the truth. The future isn't claimed by the loudest voices. It's claimed by those who can survive the grind, who can outlast the storms,